Lesson number 6, IN's list. Evaluations. In the previous lesson, we demonstrated how students appear in the IN's list. Let me remind you that when scanning a student's QR code and thus clocking them in, the school manager makes the student visible for interaction with instructors. Simply put, the IN's list is like a daily attendance roster of students who arrived for training today. Once their student ID badges have been scanned and they are physically present at the school, they can interact with the instructors for training, evaluations, and testing. When logging in using the school administrator password, you can now see that there are 4 students, Mary, Andrew, John, and Daddy. Why? Because all these students have been clocked in. The reason we are seeing all the students displayed, although they had been assigned to different locations, is due to logging in under an administrator access who is not limited by location. Let's log out of the admin account and log in using an instructor access, who has been assigned to the Tacoma location. Here, we only see John and Daddy because they were assigned to the Tacoma campus. Basically, the Bolt School Management software offers a daily attendance roster for instructors to use for training. What features does an instructor have with their access? They can perform any type of student evaluation or test that has previously been set up in the system. For student, Daddy, we can perform any type of evaluation or test, however, none can be done for John as he is not currently active in the system. It shows that he clocked out and left at 8:44, so the system will not allow any evaluations to be created for him. Using the calendar at the top of the report, and we can generate a daily attendance roster for any selected day, but we cannot create evaluations retroactively. Since instructors work in the yard and do not have access to a computer, the IN's list is maximally adapted to work from mobile devices. The evaluation data is transmitted to the server via a secure protocol, even if there is a weak connection. Using our instructor access, let's create some evaluations for Daddy. It should be noted that we use evaluations to quickly assess a student's practical skills. With the 4 forms, we took into account the requirements of FMCSA and each state to maximally access a student's readiness to pass their commercial license driving exam. The first 2 evaluations are pre-trip inspections, in cab and out cab. The third assess basic backing maneuvers, straight line, offset and 90 degrees alley dock. Use the 4th evaluation to assess a student's behind-the-wheel driving skills in the city. Let's start with the in cab. This form is similar to the out cab. Both are cumulative forms, and the student's task is to score the maximum number of points. As you can see, the maximum number of correct answers for in cab is 85. The instructor opens each block in order and records the correct answers for the student. Each block contains the maximum number of points a student can score, and one answer is equal to 1 point. In order for a student to pass successfully, they need to provide the maximum correct answers possible, with the highest score being 85 points. The block headers will change colors as the evaluation progresses. In addition, there are blocks that cannot be skipped. For example, if you do not answer at least one element from the air or brake check block, then this will result in an automatic fail, regardless of the correct number of answers provided. These are mandatory questions, as they are considered automatic fails on the state driving exam. Notice the lower block on the evaluation. This is the certification area. We divide evaluations and certification. Certification enhances the evaluation process, so, if an instructor certifies the student, this means that the student is fully prepared for this section of the state exam. Using this feature will help managers and instructors progress student based on their skill level. Successfully passing an evaluation without certification is also considered a positive result. However, the difference is that the instructor determined that the student require more training on that skill. Thus, certification serves as an auxiliary tool for the managers who schedule driving sessions, as well as for the instructors to determine what the student's current skill level is based on previous evaluations and if they are ready to progress with other skills. The certification system was designed to create a system of communication between instructors, managers, and students, so that the school's passing rate on the state exam will not decrease. The block for comments is an added feature for instructors to communicate among themselves. Instructors may leave a note about what a student needs to focus on next time or other useful information. Backing evaluations. Let's create another evaluation for Daddy. When we open the backing evaluation form, we will see a list of the student's previous evaluations. The instructor can view the forms and comments made earlier and determine the student's current skill level and what should be emphasized in training. The backing evaluations are scored by each added point to determine the final score. The final score of the evaluation is placed to the right of the evaluation. The final score depends on the training program. For example, for Class B student evaluations, the final score will not be as high as for a Class A student. The same requirements apply when students go for state testing. The certification and comments blocks are displayed at the bottom of the evaluation form and work the same as with the INCAB evaluation form. The difference with backing evaluations is that you can evaluate a student for one type of backing maneuver, or several depending on what the instructor determines necessary. The behind-the-wheel or city driving evaluations are more difficult due to the instructor being in the truck with the student while completing the assessments. There are also more skills and criteria to be assessed with this type of evaluation. This form was developed on a penalty points principle. Higher score means more errors and fewer chances to pass successfully. So a mark is placed by the skill where the student has an error or performs it incorrectly. The instructor has the opportunity to evaluate a single block of skills or several. The value of each error is 1 point. If the student makes a critical driving error, and the instructor needs to end the driving session immediately, then the instructor will open the general driving block located at the bottom and select the 100 error points, meaning that the student failed this evaluation. The created evaluation will be saved in the student's profile. They can be viewed and printed. Before creating a new evaluation, you can view the student's evaluation history. The latest evaluation will also be added in the student's column in the student list. All past evaluations can be seen in the Student Data tab. The manager can also deny a student access to future evaluations, if necessary. Finally, let's go to Daddy's personal profile and see how the student can view their scores. We will log in with a student access. Changes are visible in his account. As discussed in the introductory lessons, the student's account and the student's profile will be updated during the course of their training. The student will be able to view the total hours of training, see past evaluations, and monitor their training progress. In conclusion, please remember that only the school manager can activate a student by scanning their QR code badge and clocking them into the system for further interaction with the instructor. We hope that this tutorial was useful in understanding the system of evaluations, and will see you in the next lesson.